Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to APAC DNS Forum 2025. Our event will start in a few minutes. May I invite you to come inside, settle into your seat, and switch your mobile phone to silent mode so our event can start as planned. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, our event will start now. May I invite guests who are still outside, please come inside the ballroom and settle into your seat. And please switch your mobile phone to silent mode so our program can run smoothly. Thank you very much. A very good morning to our distinguished guests and delegates. Ladies and gentlemen, warmly welcome to APAC DNS Forum 2025. Our event will taking place today and tomorrow here at the Intercontinental Hanoi Landmark 72. And let me also welcome those who are joining us online on Zoom. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, wherever you are joining us from. Ladies and gentlemen, organized by ICANN with the Vietnam Internet Network Information Center VNNIC as the local host. This year's forum theme is an inclusive internet, connecting people, empowering our future. The forum serves as a meaningful platform for the Asia-Pacific community to network, exchange ideas, and explore collaboration opportunities in the domain name and internet industry. This year's event is special for a couple of reasons. The first being the co-location of the contracted party summit held in the past 2 days. This allows our APAC community to network beyond the region with global stakeholders joining us here at the event. In addition, the concurrent Global Universal Acceptance Day will also provide additional flavors to the forum this year. The UA Day opening ceremony will take place later this morning. And before we start, we would like to welcome our guest of honor for today. Warmly welcome to Mr. Phuong, Deputy Minister of Science and Technology. Trân trọng giới thiệu ông Bùi Hoàng Phương, Thứ trưởng Bộ Khoa học và Công nghệ. And warmly welcome to Ms. Tripti Sinha, ICANN Board Chair. Warmly welcome to Mr. Lê Ngọc Đức, Chairman of Governing Board VNNIC. Trân trọng chào đón ông Lê Ngọc Đức, Chủ tịch Hội đồng Quản lý Trung tâm Internet Việt Nam, Bộ Khoa học và Công nghệ. And warmly welcome to Mr. Kurtis Lindqvist, ICANN President and CEO. And we would like to welcome Mr. Nguyen Thang, Director General of VNNIC. Trân trọng giới thiệu ông Nguyễn Hồng Thắng, Giám đốc Internet Việt Nam, Bộ Khoa học và Công nghệ. And welcome Mr. Samiran Gupta, ICANN's Vice President of Stakeholder Engagement and Managing Director for APAC. Ladies and gentlemen, and now let's officially kick off our APAC DNS Forum 2025. Firstly, we would like to invite the local host Director General of VNNIC, Mr. Nguyễn Hồng Thắng, to deliver his welcome remarks. Xin được trân trọng giới thiệu và chào đón lên sân khấu, ông Nguyễn Hồng Thắng sẽ phát biểu khai mạc chương trình. Please welcome him to the stage.
Good morning, everyone. Excellency Mr. Bùi Hoàng Phương, Deputy Minister of Science and Technology of Vietnam, Mr. Lê Ngọc Đức, Chair of Governance Board of VNNIC, Mr. Chippy Sina, Chair of ICANN Board, Mr. Kurtis Lindqvist, President of and CEO of ICANN, Mr. Jacques Dutois, representative from UNESCO, distinguished guests, colleagues, and friends. On behalf of Vietnam Internet Network Information Center, I'm honored to extend our warmest welcome to all of you to attend the APAC DNS Forum 2025 here in Hanoi. As a national internet registry under Ministry of Science and Technology, VNNIC is proud to co-organize this important regional forum in the partnership with ICANN. This is not only a technical event, but also a conversion of vision, collaboration, and share responsibility for the future of the Internet. This year also marks a meaningful milestone of VNNIC, 25 years of VNNIC continuous contribution to Vietnam Internet development. Over the past quarter century, we have worked to establish the secure and just Internet infrastructure, from the managing the .vn country code top-level domain name to promote DNSSEC adoption to keep the Internet secure and support the transition to new generation IPv6 and the strengthening of national DNS and Vietnam National Internet Exchange System. Today, .vn ranked the second in ASEAN with more than 660,000 .vn domain name, and Vietnam is the top 10 in IPv6 adoption in global. with over 65% of users accessing the internet via IPv6. The theme of this year's event is an inclusive internet, connecting people, empower our future. The APAC DNS Forum 2025 convened the DNS industry practitioners and experts from across the region to exchange the insights, connect communities, and share best practice. We believe the discussion in this forum will foster initiative, multilingual, and secure DNS ecosystem to ensure the internet remains a powerful enabler for development, inclusion, and trust. Once again, thank you for joining us in Hanoi. And with you, a good health, success, and insightful conversation. And you look forward to welcome you back in Vietnam for the future Internet Forum and collaboration. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Nguyen Thang, for your meaningful speaking. And now we would like to invite Mr. Samiran Gupta, ICANN's Vice President of Stakeholder Engagement and Managing Director for APAC, to deliver his welcome remarks. And please join our hands to welcoming him.
Thank you. Your Excellency, Deputy Minister of Science and Technology, Hoang, ICANN Board Chair Tripti Sinha, Director General Nguyen Thang, VNNIC, Kurtis Lindqvist, President and CEO, ICANN, dignitaries in the room, and colleagues, welcome to the APAC DNS Forum. Thank you so much for being here today. Now, for those who have not been to a forum before, I'd like to just share with you what happens very briefly at an APAC DNS Forum. So the APAC DNS Forum is ICANN's flagship event in the APAC region, and it's a meaningful platform for the regional community to connect with each other, explore ideas, explore collaborations, and opportunities in relation to the domain name industry and the internet industries. The APAC DNS Forum enables regional industry experts and the wider community to come together to discuss the latest developments, opportunities, and challenges in the domain name space. As you've already heard, the highlights of this year's meeting is a little special. We have co-located this event along with the Contracted Parties Summit and the Keystone UA Day event. We are delighted to have UNESCO join us today and tomorrow at the event. And we are also, very keen to make sure that the local community gets to know more about ICANN. Now, before I step off the stage, I'd like to talk about a couple of key agenda items that we will cover in the meeting over the next 2 days. So one of the key issues that we will cover is the next round of the new GTLD program that kicks off in April 2026. We will also be talking about or discussing the WSIS Plus 20 review. We will have several discussions on DNS abuse mitigation, and of course, we will discuss on new community activities. Before I leave, I must thank VNNIC for all the support and partnership in helping us put this together in the lovely city of Hanoi. Wishing everybody a great meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Samiran Gupta. Ladies and gentlemen, next, let's extend a warm welcome to invite the President and CEO of ICANN, Mr. Kurtis Lindqvist, to the stage for his opening remarks. Please welcome Mr. Lindqvist.
Good morning, distinguished dignitaries, honored guests, and a special good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to those joining us virtually. It's an absolute pleasure to be here at the APAC DNS Forum, and I'd like to begin by extending our sincerest gratitude to Deputy Minister Hoang, Ministry of Science and Technology, Vietnam, for the ministry's invaluable partnership and gracious hospitality in hosting this significant gathering. Thank you for making this event possible and ensuring that we feel very warmly welcomed here in Hanoi. I'd also like to express deep appreciation to Nguyen Thang, the Director General of the Vietnam Internet Network Information Center. Your support and collaboration have been instrumental in bringing this forum together. So thank you, Director General Thang, for your steadfast partnership in this. As we gather here today, we find ourselves in one of Asia's most vibrant and historically rich cities, a city affectionately known by many as the City for Peace. This nickname beautifully resonates with our forum's theme on the Internet's power to connect people and empower our future. The Internet serves as one of the greatest tools for peace, growth, and prosperity, connecting more people than ever before and fostering understanding across cultures and languages. Globally, an impressive 5.56 billion people are now connected to the Internet. Within this region specifically, the International Telecommunication Union has reported that as of 2024, approximately 66% of the APAC population had access to the Internet. And this number continues to grow. The APAC region is uniquely positioned as a vibrant hub and also as a driving force in the evolution of the Internet itself. It is precisely because of this dynamism that our discussions at this forum are so critical. The APAC region represents a microcosm of the broader global community, enriched by its multitude of languages and wide-ranging digital needs and opportunities. At ICANN, a key part of our mission involves supporting initiatives that help bring more people online, navigating challenges and embracing opportunities unique to this region. The forum is timely as ICANN approaches the next round of the new generic top-level domains or GTLD program. Building on the success of the first round, this next round aims to further empower communities, businesses, and individuals by providing greater choice, innovation, and local relevance in domain names. It represents technical expansion as well as empowerment at the local level, resonating with the core of our discussions here. I'm delighted to share with you that ICANN is on track to publish a full draft applicant guidebook for comment at the end of this month. And we're very grateful for your participation and engagement that has supported this work. Digital access remains a cornerstone topic for ICANN, particularly with regard to universal acceptance or UA and internationalized domain names or IDNs. Both UA and IDNs directly address the essential task of enabling users across the APAC region to navigate the digital world in their local languages and scripts. Ensuring widespread readiness and adoption of these domains is not simply a technical issue. It's fundamentally about providing access, opportunity, and empowering users to connect, communicate, and thrive online. It is about ensuring that no one is left behind in this digital age. Addressing DNS abuse also remains a priority. Our collective effort is necessary to maintain trust, security, and resilience across the Internet's infrastructure. At ICANN, this continues to be a core focus area, demanding coordinated and proactive responses from the entire community to protect users, secure our systems, and uphold the integrity of the DNS ecosystem. This past year, the first cycle of the ICANN grant program launched. This program demonstrates our commitment to supporting innovation and capacity building. The slate of successful applicants for the first cycle is both exciting and inspiring, and we look forward to the publication of those chosen once contracting is finalized. Through this initiative, We are supporting community-driven projects aimed at solving local challenges and advancing regional and global priorities in support of ICANN's vision of a single, open, globally interoperable internet. I encourage stakeholders in this region to explore future application cycles of the ICANN grant program, ensuring that distinctive voices and perspectives from across APAC shape the internet's future. Over the next days here, we will engage deeply on issues central to the internet's presence and its future, matters that are essential regionally and globally. Topics such as WSIS Plus 20 and the effectiveness of the multi-stakeholder model are pivotal discussions at this juncture. As we mark 20 years since the World Summit on the Information Society, WSIS Plus 20 provides us with an opportunity to reflect on the significant milestones we have achieved and to set ambitious yet achievable goals for the years ahead. Similarly, the IGF continues to play a vital role in fostering dialogue and cooperation on global internet governance, making our collective engagement here even more valuable. The importance of regional voices cannot be overstated. Your perspectives, experiences, and ideas enrich global discussions, and your active participation ensures the internet remains robust, relevant, and responsive. I strongly encourage everyone gathered here, community members, stakeholders, and technical experts, to leverage this platform fully. Engage deeply in the dialogue, contribute your expertise, and help us collectively steer the future of global internet landscape. For those newer to both the APAC DNS Forum and to the work of ICANN, I encourage you to be proactive in introducing yourself to other attendees and look for opportunities to expand your engagement in our discussions. For those newer to ICANN and its work, we have dedicated programs for newcomers to learn about ICANN, both online and in person. For those wanting to attend our ICANN public meetings, we have the ICANN Fellowship Program and also our Next Gen program for young students. The Next Gen program has its origins here in APAC, and its first instance of the program was at the ICANN 49 meeting in Singapore just over a decade ago. For those of you who are interested in our Next Gen program, the next round of applications for APAC closes in just under 48 hours for the ICANN 84 meeting in October. So if you have been considering applying, I hope this last reminder is the encouragement you need to apply because it'd be wonderful to see you there. This year, the APAC DNS Forum coincides with the location of the Contracted Parties Summit and the UA Day celebrations. The presence of the ICANN board and stakeholders from across the ICANN community offers excellent opportunities for collaboration and fostering deeper and more comprehensive discussions on the challenges and opportunities ahead. I'm confident that this convergence of global insights and regional expertise will lead to robust, actionable outcomes. And in closing, Hanoi's identity as the city for peace mirrors our collective vision of a connected, cooperative, and thriving digital ecosystem. Let us carry the spirit of unity and cooperation throughout our discussion. Together, we can continue to build an internet that genuinely connects and empowers people across this vibrant region and beyond. Thank you very much, and I look forward to connecting with you here at this pivotal APAC DNS Forum. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kurtis Lindqvist, for your speaking. Ladies and gentlemen, for today's opening ceremony, we are honored to have Deputy Minister Phuong of the Ministry of Science and Technology to deliver his opening speech and directive remark. Xin được giới thiệu và nồng nhiệt chào đón ông Bùi Hoàng Phương, Thứ trưởng Bộ Khoa học và Công nghệ sẽ cùng lên sân khấu phát biểu chỉ đạo chương trình. Xin trân trọng kính mời. Please welcome Deputy Minister Bùi Hoàng Phương to the stage.
Good morning, dear Mr. Kurtis Lindqvist, President and the CEO of ICANN, Ms. Chipti Sinha, Chair of the ICANN Board, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Ministry of Science and Technology of Vietnam, I extend my warmest welcome to all of you here today. I wish for your health, happiness, and success. Today, the APAC DNS Forum 2025 held in Hanoi, Vietnam, is a valuable opportunity for all of us to come together, exchange knowledge, strengthen connection, and explore cooperation in the field that lies at the very core of the global digital infrastructure. We are now entering a new era, an era defined by comprehensive innovation and deep digital transformation. And nowadays in Vietnam, our government has focused on the science, technologies, innovation, and national digital transformation. By 2030, our goal of our country is to become a modern, industrialized, upper middle income countries. And by 2045, we will become a developed high income nation. In order to do that, one of the key pillars of this transformation is the development of the digital infrastructure and internet infrastructure, particularly the domain name system, which we call DNS, play a foundation role managing the national DNS system in a secure and reliable manner, and promoting the broad adoption of .vn domain names is a key part of our strategy to support the digital economy and digital society. Our forum today serves as a platform for the conversion of knowledge, technologies, and international collaboration. I do hope that the dialogue and the exchange throughout this forum will contribute to promoting the innovation models and smart, secure, and adaptive internet infrastructure solutions that align with global trends in science, technologies, innovation, and digital transformation. Encouraging the effective application of emerging technologies such as DNS, SEC, the 5G, 6G, IPv6, big data, cloud computing, AI, blockchain, and the quantum computing to develop a safeguard sustainable DNS infrastructure system. Vietnam always accompany and cooperate with the international community in developing an open, safe, and inclusive internet. We look forward to extensive cooperation with partners in the region and all over the world to build up a digital future for everyone. With that spirit, I'm honored to officially declare the APAC DNS Forum 2025 open. I wish you all a productive conference and hope that in your time in Vietnam will be filled with meaningful experience and lasting memory. I also do hope that we can welcome you back in Vietnam in the near future. Wishing you good health, happiness, continued success. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bùi Hoàng Phuong. Và xin được mời ông sẽ cùng ở lại sân khấu cho phần chụp ảnh. And we would like to invite back on stage Mr. Kurtis Lindqvist, Mr. Nguyen Thang, and Mr. Samiran Gupta to join the Deputy Minister for the photo taking. Please come to the stage. And we would like to invite Mr. Lê Ngọc Đức come to the stage for the photo taking section. Once again, thanks our guests of honor for attending at our event today, and you may return to your seat. And now the photographer will be taking a photo of the full audience from the front of the stage here. And I would like to invite everyone, please, to stand up for the photo taking, and please, those who are on the two sides of the ballroom, please move to the center so we can take a photo of full audience for the event today. May I invite all of our audience, please, to stand up and move to the center of the ballroom so we can take a photo of full audience today. We want to capture a remarkable moment of this event. Yes, thank you so much. Please move to the center and stand up, those who are. Okay, so we can see everyone's face clearly and capture this memorable moment of this event. And at the center, there's still empty, so you can move more to the center of the room. Okay, now I will count down from 3 and everyone have a big smile. 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much once again. Thank you for attending at our event today. And I hope you will enjoy this event and have a memorable moment for today. Yes, once again, on behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to thank to all of you to attending at our event today at Hanoi in Intercontinental Landmark 72 today. And as a Vietnamese, I'm so happy to have this opportunity to share our culture with all the audience today. I know there's a foreigner and everyone from all around the world to come here today. So we want to performance with you. Now we will have a spectacular performance that you won't want to miss. There will be a traditional dance of Vietnam. We will have on the stage the Lotus Dance from VNNIC. Let's give them a round of applause. Let's give a big round of applause for our talented dancers. Thank you for the amazing performance. Ladies and gentlemen, before we move on to our next section of the day, I would like to take a moment to thank to our sponsor for this event. Thank you, our group sponsor, TWNIC, NICI, and CSC, as well as community sponsors, Alibaba Cloud and .Asia organization. Ladies and gentlemen, and now we will move on to our opening plenary section titled An Inclusive Internet Connecting People, Empowering Our Future. This section will discuss the outlook for the future of the Internet and opportunities in bringing the next billion Internet users online. And it is my pleasure to introduce our moderator for this section. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back on stage Mr. Samiran Gupta, ICANN Vice President of Stakeholder Engagement and Managing Director for APAC. Mr. Gupta, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. We are missing one speaker, but I'd love to continue with the program and like to invite Mr. Nguyen Thang to the stage, please. And also Mr. Kurtis Lindqvist, if you would kindly join us. We do have a speaker online. I just wanted to make sure that Subalindu Sharma. He's not coming, please. Today's first plenary is an inclusive internet connecting people and empowering our future. So this session is really to discuss how we can build an inclusive internet together. And we are going to discuss the outlook for the future of the internet and the domain name space. And love to have your perspectives on both. And then we'll also discuss the potential challenges and explore corresponding collaboration opportunities to build this empowering open and internet for the future. I'm going to start with Director General Thang of VNNIC. I'd like to ask you, from your experience and VNNIC's work, it would be good for fellow panelists and the audience to know what is your vision of inclusive internet and VNNIC's role in the same, and what have been some of the most significant successes and challenges that VNNIC has faced in promoting the internet and how you've overcome them. Please.
Thank you. Good morning again. At the VNNIC, we believe that inclusive internet is one internet where everyone, no matter the language, location, and skill, can accept and use the digital service over internet. VNNIC is a national internet agency. We are in charge of promote the development internet in Vietnam. So involve contribute to develop the internet in the region. So for the internet in Vietnam, we promote to local content online with Vietnamese language, Vietnamese domain name, and Vietnamese email, and ensure the technical standard like universal acceptance work properly on the network. We start with the Vietnamese language very early, more than 22 years ago, in 2002 or 2003, when Unicode was not fully standard, and we have developed a software, a small software plug-in into the internet browser. At that time, the Internet Explorer from Microsoft is very popular. So Internet Explorer did not support the IDN, the Vietnamese domain name. So we must provide our own software to plug into browser to support Vietnamese domain name at that time, very long time ago. And helps to display the Vietnamese language domain name with Unicode to work with the DNS system. It's a first step towards the multi-legal internet from Vietnam side. So at the time, we also have a cooperation with the academic, now is Kisa from Korea, to adopt the Vietnamese email system. That's the pilot project, not the commercial. Yeah. As we know, in Vietnam, the Vietnamese language is a Latin character. So our domain name system don't face many problems like other language such as Thai or Chinese, Japanese, and Korean. But we have some challenge. In Vietnam, many users do not use a Vietnamese domain name because we are using the Latin script, so people very familiar with the English character. And some of the system, the software and browser don't support the Vietnamese language domain name very well. So people feel harder to use the Vietnamese domain name because the typing Vietnamese domain name on the English keyboard is not easy. Because when we cut off the space between the words, the keyboard have some misunderstand. So the people feel hard to use the Vietnamese domain name on the browser or email address. So we have already succeeded with the popularized Vietnamese domain name on 2010. The government have a policy to provide .vn domain name with IDN.vn domain name, so in the Vietnamese language for free for everyone. The people in Vietnam can register the Vietnamese domain name. So at that time, we reached more than 1 million Vietnamese domain name have been registered and used. After 2 or 3 years, we changed the policy to charge a small amount of money for Vietnamese domain name, just half of US dollar, about 10,000 dong per year. The number reduced from 1 million to 10,000. So now still 10,000 Vietnamese domain name already registered. But we got the lesson learned from that. With the Vietnamese domain name, you can popularize the with .vn domain name for everybody, and you now when you go out and on the street, you can see a lot of billboards with the Vietnamese domain name IDN.vn. They do the advertising the company with the Vietnamese language domain name. But when you access the internet, they use the English character. Yeah. So our lesson learned technical is not technical work is not enough, and we need the awareness and policy and support to help the people and business adopt them. That is our experience about the promote the .vn domain name with the IDN, the Vietnamese language character. Yeah.
Thank you. So obviously, a lot of work and effort is going in to connect as many people online in
Yes.
Vietnam. Yes. I'll come back to you with some questions
Okay.
in due course. I understand Balindu Sharma Dadich has joined online. Balindu, can you hear us?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, thank you so much for joining. So Balindu, till recently, you were with Microsoft India leading the localization efforts for India and the region. Now the APAC region has languages and scripts which are very diverse and with so many nuances. Tell us, how do large tech companies look at harnessing this diversity and by extension, view the future of the internet? Balindu.
Thank you for that important question, Samiran. We all know that the APAC region is one of the richest in the world when it comes to linguistic and cultural diversity. And we are talking about thousands of languages and dozens of scripts, each carrying centuries of heritage, identity, and knowledge. For example, in India itself, there are more than 750 languages. And if we add the dialects, the number goes to 1,500. So this is a very diverse region. And the same can be said about China. It can be said about some other countries, including even Vietnam and Indonesia, etc. But this diversity is not a barrier. It has to be considered as a strength. And large technology companies are increasingly recognizing that. I would say that after the arrival of Unicode, this feeling that these languages are very important for not only our business, but also as a social responsibility, that feeling is there in the technology companies. So companies like Microsoft, Google, Meta, and others, they realize that this goes beyond their business interests. This is important from the perspective of their growth as well as their social responsibilities. Now, another important reason why these companies are responsible for making internet in these languages accessible is that they have an unprecedented reach to the people universally. So Microsoft, Google, Meta, Apple, Amazon, Lenovo, HP, Samsung, AT&T, Telstra, Airtel, Reliance Jio, and the others are all stakeholders in the creation, management, access, and sustainability of multilingual internet as platform companies, internet companies, social platforms, or search platforms, or communication providers, or infrastructure providers. Companies like Microsoft are making significant investments in technologies that embrace our world's diversities and complexities. Whether it is through AI-powered translation tools, multilingual speech recognition, script rendering in local applications, or support for region-specific keyboards and input systems, the focus is on accessibility and representation of these languages. Take India or China as examples. Both have dozens of active languages. The digital experiences built for these markets must understand local expressions, dialects, and cultural references to truly serve their users. This is why AI models are being trained on diverse data sets and why open collaborations with linguists, local communities, governments, and organizations such as ICANN and UASG, that is very important and it is growing. At the heart of it is this belief that the internet of future must speak your language, understand your world, and empower your voice. Because access to internet is not just about connectivity, it is about agency. When someone can read, write, speak, or create in their own content in their own language online, they become not just consumers, but contributors to the digital world. So to your question, yes, global technology companies are increasingly seeing linguistic diversity not as a challenge, but as a frontier for innovation. And in embracing it, we are moving towards a more inclusive, plural, and human internet, one where everyone belongs. There are definitely challenges, but I think we will be able to overcome those challenges since the goals are very clear in our minds.
Thank you so much, Balindu, for your opening remarks. I'll come to Kurtis now. Kurtis, after hearing Director General Thang, Balindu, please share with us your thoughts of the inclusive internet and what ICANN is, how ICANN is working to help promote that.
Yeah, thank you. So, the topic is the inclusive internet, and to make the internet inclusive, I think there are many components in this. When I started my career in this mid-90s, a lot about the inclusivity of the internet was to bring connectivity to the world, something that we are still working on in some parts of the world. But as I said in my opening speech, in the APAC region, we now have, according to the ITU, 66% of the population in APAC has access to the internet, but that's a question of access. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's accessible to those people as well. And we need to make sure, as we heard presented, that because of this very vast diversity of languages and scripts, we also need to make sure that the internet is accessible in those languages and scripts, not just the access. And there's been this phenomenal growth in internet access over the years, and I really hope we can see the same phenomenal growth in accessibility of the internet in the coming years, and that we see this truly grow. And I think, based on, I remember back to when the internet was being built out in Europe, which is slightly different, but in the early 2000s, one thing you could see was really how accessibility and usage increased when local language content became available and accessible. And I think this is something that is very important when we think about the internet and the internet development and growth. I come from a country, I'm Finnish, that has a very unique language. We use the Latin script, but the language is very unique. And in the 2000s, the understanding of English language might have been a little bit limited, and we can really see how the adoption of local content really made sure that the content, the internet usage grew as well. And I think that's true in a lot of the countries around the world. As we now see access growing, we will look forward to see content in other languages. And I think that's something we need to work a lot on, and also making the technical, as Director Thang said, it's not necessarily a technical problem, it's also a usage and communication problem. And why is this important? Why is local scripts and language important when it comes to internet and the content? I think we're here celebrating universal acceptance at this APAC Day. And if you look back in history, we also have talked a lot this week, this was here earlier, but this is the WSIS plus 20, the 20 years since the WSIS declaration on the Tunis agenda. The Tunis agenda also sets out the importance of moving towards a multilingualization of the internet. And that's something that we have done a lot of work on, and we continue to deliver on that Tunis agenda, and something we need to do a lot more on. So for ICANN's point of view, what's our role in this? Well, to keep promoting and pushing for universal acceptance. And at the core of our mission is to coordinate the technical identifiers on the internet. But as part of that role is also very much to make those identifiers usable, or otherwise it's a bit pointless, right? So making sure that we have this available accessibility is very much part of our mission, and something we've been working on for a long time. We set up 10 years ago in 2015, the Universal Acceptance Steering Group that will this June celebrate 10 years at the ICANN meeting in Prague, and we will, we have come a long way in this period, and that's something that we have contributed to that work, and we will continue to work on this. We will do a lot more coordination on the ICANN side. We will continue to work in the WSIS plus 20 recognition to highlight all the work that has been done so far, all the achievements that we have done, but there's also a lot more to do in this area, and we have to build on what we have and what we have done in this area. There's a lot of ICANN initiatives with national governments and the universal acceptance part that we also work together with, as we heard mentioned earlier, with the software industry and promote the usage of a universal acceptance to make these tools really usable. And lastly, I just want to say we also have the next round of detailed lists coming up, and we believe that universal acceptance or differentiated international domain names and scripts will be one of the factors driving in this round, and this round will enable a lot more registrations of internationalized domain names, again, creating a lot more value in this space. So that's some of the work that we are doing.
Thank you, Kurtis. I'm going to come back to Director General Thang. Can you share with us some of the specific government policies that has supported the growth of internet adoption in your country?
Thank you. In Vietnam, we have a strategy for digital transformation on the 2030 and Vision 2050. And the government the push focus on with the digital infrastructure, the mobile broadband coverage, and fiber to the home, and is a necessary facility for the people to access the internet. So now in Vietnam, the mobile broadband coverage more than 99% of population can access the mobile broadband, and the fiber to the home, more than 85% of households have a fiber to the home to access the internet. So after the build the infrastructure, the government want to promote the local content, the online service provider, and online application content from the local company and for the CV in Vietnam. And in Vietnam, VNNIC with slogan the internet phone, we are in charge to promote and popularize the .vn domain name for every citizen. And as I said, we start with the IDN.vn domain name very early, more than 20 years ago, and we have a success at some point of time with more than 1 million people know about the .vn domain name and Vietnamese .vn domain name, and they already register and use for some years. So now we need have some consultant and suggest to ministry about pay attention and focus on the include EUA in the government internet policy to promote the local content from the domain name to the online content, and support the training, raise the awareness for the people, and training skill how to use the EUA in the internet, and integrate the EUA in some platform, the critical platform provided to citizen and government officer. And the role of government, I think the government leadership is the key. Government take the role to conduct the sector guide adoption and support international standard like EUA into the integrated into the IT system. But I think government is not enough. At the same time, we still need a stronger support from the technology company, the big tech, like Microsoft, Google, Amazon, to support the EUA by default in the system. Because now, you know, there are a lot of people use Google Chrome, Microsoft Outlook, or some software like TikTok, YouTube, and the big tech. Then tech company must support the EUA in the platform by default. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And it actually takes me to my next question to Balindu, because Director General Thang just referenced Microsoft and how big tech should be adopting universal acceptance. Balindu, tell us, what are the most common technical challenges that developers face when implementing support to IDNs and UA, and rather email address internationalization, because you are working, or big tech companies work at very large scale. So how does that, pan out, and what are the challenges? Over to you.
Yeah, so I would say that already a lot of work has taken place in this particular area from Microsoft. But as I mentioned earlier, that there are challenges as well. And since you specifically asked about the challenges, I would say that number one challenge is that awareness among the people is very important from this perspective. There are tools which are already available, but many of the people at the ground, at the grassroots level, may not be aware of this. So I think that is a fundamental problem. Another thing is that ability for people to be able to reach internet, access internet itself through their browsers or through other means, I think that also has certain challenges. For example, availability of Unicode support. It may not be available everywhere. It may not be available in different platforms. Ability to access content starts with ability to type the name of the content itself or the name of the website itself. So text input becomes very important here. And from that perspective, keyboard layouts in local languages, that becomes a crucial factor. Whether we have been able to provide those kind of keyboard layouts for people to be able to even type in their own language, even go to the web browser address bar and type the name of the website that they want to access, that itself, still is a challenge for many languages and many dialects. Then I would say that availability of, even the access to the operating systems, whether people can access the operating system in their own language or not, because not everybody will be familiar with the English language. And the entire environment that we provide, the ecosystem that we provide to people has to respect the local languages of those people, so that they can make sense of the environment through which they are accessing internet. So that is another fundamental requirement. Availability of fonts in local languages, that is also a crucial factor, because unless and until you have this kind of basic infrastructure available, people will not be able to reach internet, leave aside the possibility of consuming content or creating content. So I would say the first important aspect for us is local language computing and creation of platforms for people to be able to access multilingual internet in their own languages. Number two will be to provide platforms to enable people to create content in their own languages. For example, I was going through the data from W3C regarding the availability of content in different world languages, and I found that as per the data, 49% plus content is only in English over the entire internet. And if we add some other languages, the European languages, this goes to 80% plus. So non-English, non-European languages, they only have less than 20% of the content across the internet. So whether we are able to create content or not, that is another challenge, in order to make it worthwhile for people to not only just come to internet, but take advantage of it. So for companies like Microsoft, it becomes very important that the productivity applications that they provide, they work in all languages and they have language features so that people can create content. Then let's come to the browsers. So for internet access, the browser has to support internationalized domain names, and also within the browser, also people access email services. So EAIs, they also have to be supported inside browsers. Then let's come to the owned content. These are very large companies, and all of these, for example, Microsoft or Google or Facebook, they all are also content companies apart from being internet companies and technology companies. So Microsoft provides MSN in so many APAC languages, and I'm happy to share that it is available in simplified Chinese, traditional Chinese, Vietnamese, Bhasha Indonesia, Japanese, Korean, Thai, Hindi, and many other languages. And similarly, the other platforms that I mentioned, like Google's Google News, or it could be Facebook, they are localized in local languages to a large extent, although many languages are still to be covered. But yes, a reasonable support for local languages is there in these platforms where content is consumed. Now comes AI enablement, because we are in the world of AI, and it is necessary that our languages also keep pace with the development around us. So translation in local languages, that becomes important. Speech input, the ability to be able to type using their own speech, and also access internet by just using your speech. For example, we have Alexa, and Alexa, the prime mode of communication with Alexa is speech. So whether our languages and whether our technology supports local languages in that perspective or not, that also is a very crucial factor for us to make sure that we provide a level playing field to all languages. Then computer vision, whether it supports local languages. Then finally, generative AI. So all the tools like ChatGPT or Copilot or Google's Gemini, etc., whether they support local languages or not, that becomes important. Because what I want to say is that not just access to internet, but also the quality of content and the quality of services, the quality of information that we get, and the quality of interactivity with that internet is also as important as access to internet is. So I think these are the certain challenges, and this is I would like to say that some of the work which has been done by Microsoft. As far as UASG is concerned, the Universal Access Group, Microsoft has been part of it right from the beginning, and I'm very happy to also share that I have myself been part of that process, working with ICANN, working with NICSI in India, and FICCI in India. So these industry bodies and these industry organizations are also connected with the, these large bodies, which are making sure that across the world, people are able to access internet in their own languages. Microsoft's own products, in 2018, we supported IDNs in all Indian languages. In 2018, we also supported internationalized email addresses in these languages. And after that, this has come to stabilize, and this support is available across applications like Microsoft 365 or Microsoft Office. At the same time, also across the internet browsers like Microsoft Edge, and also the internet-based services like Microsoft Outlook over the internet. So I think lots of work is happening, not only at the government level, not only at the ICANN level, but also at the industry level. There are still challenges. For example, there are certain low resource languages where content is still not available to the extent that it should be. The market is very small. Like these technologies which are created, they need a market also to grow further. But the market in local languages is also another challenge that we have to work on. That we have to work on increasing the market share in those languages. And I think generally we are making a good progress, but challenges are there, and we are working on these in partnership with all the stakeholders.
Thank you, Balandu. Kurtis. So it's very clear listening to Balandu that there has to be some level of cooperation amongst software platform companies, software companies, tech companies. What is the role that ICANN is playing in this space, and to accelerate this process?
So I think it's true. I mean, the examples I like to add, I mean, it's not just software companies and the platform we think of is, of course, all the libraries used by software companies. There's a lot of open source. There's a whole ecosystem that needs to support this. And from ICANN, we believe that as I said, we have been promoting, IDNs and universal acceptance for 10 years or more than 10 years. And part of the work that's been done is also ensuring that we can validate that email addresses and domain names are actually usable in that context. And we've been working together with other groups and sponsored work from ICANN is to do this validation and promotion of this work to ensure that the IDNs and email addresses, etc., are usable. And I think that's a very, very important part of this, is to not just raise the awareness of the needs, but also validate that the tools, the systems you just talked about actually do support this, actually do work with this. And I think that I think we also, something that we've done a lot about around this is the awareness raising, of course, and we had the UA Day, which is today, which is of course very much part of this. But you do almost also would like to have a UA validation day, right? Not just to raise awareness of the existence of the UAs, but also validate they can actually be used. And I think that's a really important part. That's something we've been doing more. We've been doing a lot of work on. It's something that we plan to do a lot more on the technical validation, technical drive on this as we go forward from the ICANN side.
Thank you, Kurtis. I'm going to pause here and see if we have any questions from the audience. If you do, please come up to the microphones which are set up at the aisles and state your name and ask your question. Okay.
Good morning, Samiran, Kurtis. I'm Dan, CEO of WITSA. Listening in to all the conversation here, I realized that there's a lot of focus on inputs, access, adoption, use, language, key inputs that are obviously critical. How do we shift the conversation to focus on outcomes? Whether it is productivity, whether it is economic upliftment, whether it is percentage of the global community that is included in the digital economic impact. So I'd like to pose that question. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dan. Kurtis, would you like to start? And then
I think it's a great question. I mean, I think that as I said, we talk a lot about internet access, but we don't necessarily talk about the accessibility, right? Just because you have access to internet doesn't mean it's usable or available. At the same time, we talk a lot about the next billion users that wants to come online. Now, there is this presumption that these next billion users will speak English, or at least have a grasp of the English language, or at least of Latin script. And as I said, if I take the examples from my own home country, well, that was true. You didn't really get the full utilization, and you didn't really see the explosion in usage until you had local language content or local language accessibility. And I think that's really the growth, and the question was at the heart of that, what's the value? How do we do the output, so to speak, in this? And I think we're underestimating the real value creation when we have local language and what that can do for today underserved groups. And I think that's really what a topic that's really close to my heart, because again, my language isn't English, right? And my language isn't even Latin script. It's based on Latin script, but we have characters who is not part of the English. Well, sorry, it's Latin script, but it's not English language, right? And I think we underestimate this, how important these parts are to really fully unlocking value on the internet, and this next billion users, to get the full value for them and drive all the other value adds on top of that will come from having accessibility in the local languages and local scripts.
thank you, Kurtis. Director General Thang, would you like to also add to the answer? So the question was, the focus has been most on inputs, but how do we bring the focus on outputs and results?
Thank you. We are moving from physical one to the digital one.
So we need bring more people online. So you need the facility to provide them skill and tool to present online. More people online. We have to economy grow faster. Last year, I read one study from a university in USA. They study about the effective of the online present to the income. So they do some study with some state in US, and the output of online present is in Korea the income about 7%, where the community have a more people online, more company with the website, and more people connect with the broadband. The income in Korea is 7%. That is very interesting. That's why we in Vietnam we want to popularize the .vn domain name with the digital service such as the website, email, to bring more people online and increase the income in Vietnam. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Balindu, let me come to you. So you also heard the question again, your unique perspective from a big tech lens. How do we shift the focus to outcomes with internationalization of domain names or globalizing of the internet?
Yeah, I think this is very important question, and this definitely takes us one step forward. So I would say that we have to we have to ensure that universal access is there, but we have to start moving towards universal, enablement of all the languages and ensuring a level playing field for all languages in the world of technology, which will pave way for innovation and growth in this time of internet economy. So creation of opportunities, making sure that people are able to access internet, but also can take advantage of the tools, the platforms which are there on the internet for their own innovation, their own growth, their own productivity, to be able to come up with results, outcomes. I think that is very, very important. And universal access is a basic fundamental requirement for that. But at the same time, as I mentioned earlier also, we have to look at what people get once they reach internet, once they access internet. So for example, getting access to information, quality information, if we can make sure that that is available, using internet for provision of education and skilling, using internet for providing services in local languages, in the people's languages, own languages, and then making sure that the opportunities which are available in English language and other languages of the developed world, they are also available to languages of other countries, the local languages. So we have to have a framework in mind. We have to move towards a framework which starts with universal access, but takes us to these outcomes where every single person using any local language can also feel that they not only belong to this universal internet and multilingual internet, but they can also take advantage of this internet for their own growth and for output at local level and national level.
Thank you. Thank you, Balindu. Is there any other questions from the floor? We have some time. If you have a question, please come up and take the opportunity to ask our panelists. Yes, please.
So I am Devesh Tyagi, CEO NICSI. So what I'd seen that we are trying to super lead the inclusive internet things, but there is no inclusive in education as of now. So if we start at the school level or university level, that we should have this, we'll be reaching inclusive internet when we have the inclusive education. So we would like to have your views on this.
Thank you. So the question is, or rather he's seeking the opinion, our opinion on how early should people be online in their own languages to be able to make the environment more inclusive.
I mean, I think the question is the other way around, right? You know, we should have local languages because it will actually enable earlier adoption of the internet, right? If English isn't your native language today, then your barrier of adoption is until you learn English, right? If you have English, if you have the internet available in your local language, then your barrier of adoption is learning language, learning to speak, learning to read, right? And I think that's really the showcase of how important it is to have the internet available in local languages, because I have friends of mine whose children learn English very early before starting school, but yet they learn their native language first, right? And that's really the barrier of adoption to the internet. And I think that's something we have to recognize, that if we can bring the internet in local languages and scripts, we're going to enable the internet access much earlier.
Would you like to also add?
I think now we are in the digital one, and one internet, and the English is very popular, and English is the default language on the internet. But I think the local language is very important. It's not only the communication method, it's a culture. So every community, every nation have their own language. So they must keep the culture physical and digital. So I think early adoption of local language, their own language on the internet very early is more use a digital culture. It's better for the community. That's all.
Balindu, would you have any thoughts on how early local language internet should be introduced?
Yeah, I think education is one of the goals of having a multilingual internet in place. So as I mentioned earlier that, you know, apart from information, education, services, opportunities, innovation, I think these are the goals where we have to move forward to. And from that perspective, it is important. We know that the children learn better if we teach them in their own local languages, especially in the early years of their education. And internet today is a major vehicle to provide education. Internet is a major vehicle to connect teachers to students, the systems, the teaching systems to students, the educational apparatus to students. So it's important that the internet and all of these systems, they support local languages, not in words, but in spirit, because that will help us really achieve the goals of universal education, taking education to all, etc. So that is very important from that perspective. I would also like to highlight one aspect here, and that is, I think, generally overlooked by us in different discussions, and that is that how we make education accessible to not only people using local languages, but also the disabled people with disability. Because when people come from disability, and that too, even those people, when they come from local language background, the challenges that they face in internet access as well as education access, that gets multifold. So how we make sure that people with disability can access internet using their own language, and then further they can also access education in their own languages. I think we have to work on that part also, because ultimately today we have 15% of the world population that comes from this fold. And we have to take care of this very large part of our population, because unless and until we take them along, unless and until we create systems that empower them also to be equally able to use internet and take advantage of it, and also be, you know, also create systems using this internet, inclusive internet, our objectives will still be a little far from reality.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me see if there's another question.
Good morning. This is Anil Kumar Jain. I am Chair USG. I don't have any question per se, but I just want to reply further to Devesh Tyagi's question. I just want to inform the audience that USG, along with ICANN, has already taken a note of having a universal access in acceptance in education. And USG, along with ICANN, has prepared a UA academic curricula with 12 modules, having the basic module and advanced modules also. We have, in fact, ICANN has appointed one special officer who is only to promote the UA academic curricula. Already, initial work has already started in Bahrain. ICANN had meetings with several universities in India, and similar work is going on. We hope that initially we may be able to implement in college. Once it gets a full course in college, then definitely this can further go to education. So we hope that in the coming years, early education will have a flavor of universal acceptance to the young population. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's a great, excellent observation, because we do have a curriculum at ICANN for academic learning, and it's available free of charge. I think my colleagues are here from the team, Sarma, Deliza, and if anybody in the audience would like to know more about it over the next 2 years, you can actually take the opportunity to find out. I want to see if there's any other comments or questions that you might have for the panelists here. If there are none, I'll go first to Balindu for your closing remarks. Balindu?
Yeah, thank you. So I would say that going forward, we have certain challenges and certain opportunities before us to make this multilingual internet opportunity truly happen. One is that this is the time of artificial intelligence, and we, all of us stakeholders should think as to how we can take advantage of artificial intelligence in making sure that our goals are, they become easier to achieve with the help of artificial intelligence. For example, access to internet, we can use speech technologies, we can use computer vision, we can use translation, etc., to make sure that internet access is available to people. Secondly, making sure that internet is available, that is a larger issue. There is also a digital divide issue that we have to address. And digital divide in countries like, India, I would say about India, this is a real issue for us. Availability of data connectivity to people, that is very important. Availability to devices through which people can come to internet, that is very important. And then awareness. So these three major challenges we face in countries like India or maybe Sri Lanka or Bangladesh or Pakistan, etc. So we have to think about working on that issue of digital divide. Thirdly, accessibility. How can we include people with disability in this entire exercise? That is important. And finally, how can we make sure that people who are coming to internet and people who don't know much about it yet, they are also secure over internet. They are also able to keep their privacy intact over internet. So I think there are certain broad issues. So once we make sure that universal acceptance is available, we also have to move forward towards making these goals happen.
Thank you, Balindu. I'll go to Director General Thang for your closing remarks, please.
Thank you. I think UA and local language is very interesting discussion. because it's not only the communication, it's a culture of each community. And I think in the future we would have one internet, where the language is not barrier. And we hope that in a Vietnamese domain name and email address with the Vietnamese language will be available by default with commitment, is support from big tech company and the community and government policy. And to accomplish this purpose, we need the collaboration, include the stronger big tech and the tech company, global and domestic. And multilingual internet, I think, is not only technology project, it's a culture, equality, and the cooperation. And the shared responsibility of the people. So VNNIC is a NIR, the National Internet Agency in Vietnam. We commit to contribute for the development of internet and in Vietnam and the region and global, especially in UAE field. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Kurtis.
I think I can echo what my fellow panelists just said, is that this is really a important topic that requires our cooperation to really keep stressing the importance of this. I just like one thing to remind ourselves is that we are all discussing this, but we're also all the customers for this, right? You know, we're all the use cases and we're all part of creating the demand for this, because I think there is a risk to universal acceptance is that we accept the status quo and we don't keep pushing for this and we don't keep highlighting the value, as the question about, you know, languages from kids and how do, you know, the barrier this proposes. And I think we really had to drive this forward and make this the need known and also the value for this. As we heard from the audience, the keep highlighting the value creation from this is really, really important. I think that's something we can all do and continue to do more of in our engagement with everybody in this field, both as customers, as said, as the demand drive. And I think that's really where we need to drive this and to echo Director General's comments, to have one world, one internet on this language.
Thank you. So as we draw to an end of this opening plenary, I think the message is very clear. For an inclusive internet, we need to cooperate and collaborate with across the board. It's with big tech companies, with communities, with academia, and to make this happen. So again, one world, one internet is all about this process and the spirit of collaboration. With that, let's conclude today's plenary session. Thank you very much to my fellow panelists for joining today. Thank you.
Thank you, our moderator and speakers. And I would like to invite you to stay on the stage for the photo taking section. And Mr. Sharma, please stay on as well. We can take a photo together. Xin nhờ bộ phận kỹ thuật có thể chuyển màn hình Zoom của Mr. Sharma lên sân khấu chính ạ. Thì chúng ta sẽ có thể chụp hình toàn bộ các diễn giả của chúng ta ngày hôm nay ạ. We will wait for Mr. Sharma. Our moderator and speaker have an interesting section with Mr. Sharma. And here we have Mr. Sharma on the Zoom window, and now we will have a photo section. Once again, thank you so much, our moderator and speaker, for our first plenary. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now take a short tea break. And please enjoy the coffee, tea, and snack we prepare outside at the foyer. And we ask you to kindly be back at 11 for the UA Day 2025 opening ceremony. Thank you, everyone, and see you later.